There is a specific look people give you when they know they can use you. It is not hate. Hate would imply they see you as a threat. Hate requires energy. Hate implies you possess power. It is not anger. Anger would imply you matter enough to disturb their peace. No, it is something far worse. It is indifference. It is a quiet, subtle contempt. You feel it in the way they interrupt you in the middle of a sentence and offer no apology. The way they leave you on read for days, knowing with absolute certainty that you will reply the second they decide to return. The way they dump their emotional baggage onto your doorstep, but vanish the moment you require a shoulder. You feel it deep in your gut, a cold, sinking realization that you have become the background character in your own life. You are the safe option, the one who never says no, the eternal waiting room. You believe you are being kind. You have convinced yourself that your silence is maturity, that your endless forgiveness is a virtue. You tell yourself that in a cruel world, being nice is a revolutionary act. But Niccolò Machiavelli, the man who peered into the darkest corners of human nature 5 centuries ago, would offer you a brutal diagnosis. You are not virtuous, you are merely harmless. And in this world, harmless things are not respected. They are consumed. History is littered with the graves of the harmless, the nice, the compliant. We are not here to discuss self-love or positive affirmations. Those are fragile shields against the arrows of human nature. We are here to conduct an autopsy on your behavior and reconstruct your spine using the cold, hard logic of social dynamics. We are going to dismantle the psychological programming that keeps you weak. We will journey through the economics of scarcity, the weaponization of silence, and the integration of the shadow. To reclaim your existence, you must flip a switch that turns you from a resource to be exploited into a force to be reckoned with. But first, we must understand the economy of your own irrelevance.
Chapter 1: The Economics of Attention. Let us begin with a lesson from history. Consider the Roman Emperor Tiberius. In the early years of his reign, he was present, available, and involved in every minute detail of the Senate. The result? Contempt, conspiracies. The people grew tired of him. They saw him as ordinary. Realizing this, Tiberius did something counterintuitive. He withdrew. He retreated to the island of Capri, removing his presence from Rome entirely. Suddenly, his decrees became gospel. His silence became terrifying. His rare letters to the Senate were read with trembling hands. By removing the supply of his presence, he skyrocketed the demand for his approval. This is the fundamental law of economics, and it is the fundamental law of human relationships. Scarcity creates value. Why is gold precious? Why is a diamond coveted? Why is the air you breathe essential for your very survival, free, while a useless stone costs a fortune? Because air is abundant, diamonds are scarce. You, my friend, are treated like air. You are fundamental, perhaps, useful, certainly, but you are free. You have flooded the market with your presence. When someone sends a message, you reply in seconds. When a favor is asked, you agree before the sentence is finished. When plans are cancelled last minute, you smile and say, "It's quite all right, I understand." You believe that by being available, you are building connection. You think, if I am always there for them, they will realize how loyal I am. Wrong. Human beings are hunters by nature. Our dopamine circuits are wired to chase what retreats. We do not value what falls into our lap, we value what we must earn. By giving your time, your energy, and your attention away for nothing, you are teaching the world that you have no value. You are training them to disrespect you. Machiavelli wrote, "The vulgar crowd is always taken by appearances. If you present yourself as someone who has nothing better to do than wait, the world will treat you as someone who has nothing better to do." Think of the person you respect most. Do they answer the phone on the first ring? Do they agree with every opinion? Do they apologize for taking up space? No. They have boundaries. They have a life outside of you.
They are scarce. If you wish to regain respect, you must artificially create scarcity. This is not a game of playing hard to get. This is the reclamation of your own time. You must withdraw. You must apply the Tiberius principle. Let them wonder where you are. Let them wonder what you are thinking. The moment you become predictable, you become invisible.
Chapter 2. The Language of Submission. Queen Elizabeth I of England, arguably one of the most astute political operators in history, had a motto: Video et taceo. I see and I say nothing. She understood that power does not reside in noise. It resides in the ability to observe without reacting. Compare this to the modern nice guy. The modern man is terrified of silence. When you ask him a favor he doesn't want to do, what happens? He vomits words. "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'd really love to help, but you see, I have this doctor's appointment and my car is acting up and I promised my mother." This is what psychologists call jade. Justify, argue, defend, explain. It is the language of the subordinate. It is the language of a child asking a parent for permission to say no. When you offer a paragraph of excuses, you are implicitly saying, "Please don't be mad at me. I have a valid reason. Please validate my reason." You are handing them the gavel and asking them to judge your case. A sovereign does not explain his decrees. The next time someone crosses a boundary or asks for something unreasonable, try the most difficult thing in the world, the king's silence. Say no, or say, "That won't work for me," and then stop talking. Close your mouth, look them in the eye, and wait. The silence that follows a no is where your power lives. Most people will panic in this silence. They will rush to fill it with nervous laughter or over-explanations. Do not break. Let the silence hang in the air like heavy smoke. Let it be uncomfortable. In that discomfort, the power dynamic shifts. You are no longer the one seeking approval, you are the one holding the frame. Also, observe your speed. Insecure people rush. They walk fast, talk fast, eat fast. They act as if they are stealing time, as if they don't deserve to occupy the space they are in. Slow down. When you turn your head, turn it deliberately. When you speak, pause between sentences. Silence is not empty, it is heavy. Machiavelli advised the prince to avoid being despised. Nothing makes a man more despised than fickleness and frivolity. Rushing is frivolous. Over-explaining is fickle. Stillness is strength. Video et taceo. See everything. Say only what is necessary. But scarcity and silence are merely the outer walls of the fortress. To truly become dangerous, we must go deeper. We must enter the mind. We must understand why the human brain is obsessed with what it cannot understand. We must discuss the Zeigarnik effect and the art of becoming a mystery. Chapter 3. The Zeigarnik Effect and the Art of Mystery. In the 1920s, a Soviet psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik noticed something peculiar while sitting in a busy cafe. The waiters could remember complex orders with perfect clarity, but only until the bill was paid. The moment the transaction was complete, the information vanished from their minds. She discovered a glitch in the human operating system. The mind fixates on incomplete tasks. It obsesses over open loops. It cannot rest until the puzzle is solved. Once a task is finished, the brain discards it to save energy. Now apply this to yourself. When you are an open book, when you vomit your entire inner world to anyone who pretends to listen, when you post every thought, every breakfast, and every insecurity on social media, you are a completed task. You are a solved puzzle. You are a movie with no plot twists. People have figured you out. They have consumed you, and naturally, they discard you. Why do you overshare? It is not honesty, it is anxiety. You are terrified of the silence, so you fill it with information about yourself, hoping something, anything, will stick and make them like you. But you are achieving the exact opposite. You are making yourself mundane. You are making yourself, to put it bluntly, boring. To command respect,
You must become an open loop. You must learn to withhold. When someone asks, "What are you thinking?" the weak man gives a 10-minute monologue. The powerful man smiles faintly and says, "I'm just observing." When you disappear for a week to work on a project, do not announce it. Do not post grind mode on Instagram. Just vanish. Let them wonder, where is he? Is he angry? Is he busy? Has he met someone else? Why doesn't he need my validation anymore? That wonder, that anxiety they feel in your absence, is the seed of respect. By withholding yourself, you force their brain to work for your attention. You trigger the Zeigarnik effect in their psyche. You become a puzzle they are desperate to solve. Remember, you cannot be a commodity and a mystery at the same time. Choose one.
Chapter 4. Weaponized kindness versus true generosity. Now we arrive at the most uncomfortable truth of this documentary. We must dismantle your goodness. You believe you are a nice guy or a good woman. You believe your compliance, your inability to say no, and your fear of conflict are signs of a virtuous soul. You look at the aggressive, the selfish, the Machiavellian, and you tell yourself, "At least I am a better person than them." I am sorry to break this illusion, but you are not virtuous. You are just harmless. There is a profound difference between being peaceful and being harmless. A rabbit is not virtuous because it doesn't eat the wolf. It cannot eat the wolf. It has no choice but to be a victim. A warrior who holds a sword knows how to use it to kill, but chooses to keep it sheathed. That is virtue. That is peace. Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, spoke of the shadow. The shadow contains all the parts of yourself you have repressed: your aggression, your selfishness, your capacity for cruelty, your lust for power. You have spent your entire life shoving these traits into the basement of your subconscious because you were told they were bad. But by castrating your aggression, you have also castrated your strength. A person who is incapable of saying no, incapable of conflict, is not kind. Their kindness is not a gift, it is a survival strategy. You are nice because you are terrified of what will happen if you aren't, and people, especially predatory people, can smell that fear on you like blood in the water. You are engaging in what Robert Glover calls covert contracts. You do favors for people, expecting a return that you never asked for. You listen to their problems for hours, expecting them to love you. You cover for them at work, expecting loyalty. And when they don't pay up, you become resentful. You sit in your room seething, thinking, "After everything I did for them." Realize this. You are not a martyr. You are a manipulator who is bad at maths. You are trying to buy love with submission, but the currency is worthless. To reclaim respect, you must integrate your shadow. You must find your inner monster. You need to find that part of you that can be cold, that can be ruthless, that can look at a toxic relationship of 10 years and cut it off without a single tear because it no longer serves your dignity. Jordan Peterson said it best: you should be a monster, and then you should learn to control it. When people realize that you could bite, but you choose not to, that is when they respect you. They need to feel the potential for danger. They need to know that your kindness is a choice, not a default setting. Stop being a rabbit. Buy a sword, learn how to use it, and then keep it sheathed. Chapter 5. Boundaries as acts of war. Once you integrate the shadow, you will start doing something you have avoided your entire life: setting boundaries. But here is the trap. You think that if you set boundaries calmly and logically, people will respect them. You think, if I just explain that I can't work weekends anymore, my boss will understand. You are naive. When you set a boundary with someone who has benefited from your lack of them, they will not applaud you. They will attack you. In psychology, this is called an extinction burst. Imagine a rat in a cage.
Every time it presses a lever, it gets a pellet of food. One day, you stop the food. You break the mechanism. Does the rat simply shrug and walk away? No. It presses the lever frantically. It bites the cage. It screeches. It throws a tantrum. It doubles down on the behavior to try and force the reward back. The people in your life are the rat. Your compliance is the food pellet. When you finally say no, they will undergo an extinction burst. They will call you selfish. They will say you've changed. They will try to guilt trip you. I thought we were friends. After all I've done for you. This is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is a sign that you are doing something right. Do not negotiate with the tantrum. Do not apologize to the rat. The mistake you make is thinking that a boundary is a negotiation. Is it okay if I don't come tonight? No, that is weak. A boundary is not a request. It is a modification of the contract. I am not coming tonight. I am not discussing this further. If you speak to me like that again, I will hang up. If you are not willing to lose the relationship, you have no leverage. Read that again. If you cannot walk away, you have no power. The only way to win this war is to be willing to sit in the fire of their disapproval and not burn. Let them be angry. Let them be disappointed. Let them call you arrogant. Their anger is not your responsibility. It is the sound of them losing control over you. Watch what happens when the dust settles. Once the extinction burst fades, and it always does, they will look at you differently. The dynamic will shift. They will realize that the door is locked, and for the first time in years, they will knock before entering. We have covered the internal architecture, scarcity, silence, shadow, and boundaries. But how does this manifest in the real world? How do you look? How do you speak? How do you handle a room full of people who are trying to dominate you? In the final chapter, we will discuss the Machiavellian gaze and the ultimate price of sovereignty, solitude.
Chapter 6. The Machiavellian Gaze. Social Mechanics. We have built the fortress. Now let us man the walls. How does a sovereign behave in the wild? How do you handle the interruption, the insult, the subtle disrespect in a boardroom or a bar? It begins with the eyes. The nice guy has darting eyes. He looks around for approval. He breaks eye contact first. He smiles when he is nervous. Stop smiling. Smiles are for submission. Smiles are a biological signal that says, I am harmless. Please don't hurt me. When you are negotiating, when you are challenged, or when you are stating a boundary, your face must be a mask of stone. This is the Machiavellian gaze. It is an unreactive, observant look. When someone insults you, do not get angry. Anger shows they have touched a nerve. Anger implies they have power over your emotional state. Instead, look at them. Hold the gaze for 3 seconds. Let the silence stretch. And then calmly ask, are you trying to be helpful or are you just being rude? See what happens. You have not attacked them. You have simply held up a mirror. By refusing to react emotionally, you force them to explain themselves. You force them into the defensive position. He who explains loses. Let's talk about frame control. Every social interaction is a collision of 2 frames, 2 views of reality. The stronger frame absorbs the weaker one. The interrupter has a frame that says, my words are more important than yours. If you stop talking when they interrupt, you have accepted their frame. You have agreed that they are more important. Change the dynamic. When someone interrupts you, do not raise your voice. Do not speed up. Simply continue speaking at the exact same volume and tempo as if they are not there. Or stop completely. Look at them. Wait for them to finish their rude interjection, and then say, I wasn't finished. Do not say it with attitude. Say it with the flat indifference of a judge reading a sentence. This will cause a spike of anxiety in their chest. They will realize, wait, I can't push him. The usual buttons aren't working. In that moment of anxiety, respect is born. Remember the rule of the predator. Predators do not rush. Lions move slowly. Kings walk slowly. Only the prey run. Only the servant rushes. Slow down your movements. Occupy space. Own the silence.
Chapter 7. There is a price for this transformation, and for many of you, the price will be too high. The price is solitude. When you start applying these laws, when you stop people-pleasing, when you set boundaries, when you integrate your shadow, your circle will shrink. The people who liked you because you were easy to manipulate, they will hate the new you. They will say you have become cold. They will say you are difficult. Good. Let them leave. A forest fire is destructive, yes, but it burns away the dead wood to allow new growth. You are currently surrounded by dead wood. You are holding on to relationships that are suffocating you because you are terrified of being alone. You must embrace the desert of the real. It is quiet here, it is lonely here, but it is real. And it is better to be alone in the desert of reality than to be crowded in the illusion of fake connection. Machiavelli, Nietzsche, Tesla, Marcus Aurelius, every great mind in history spent time in the wilderness. They had to disconnect from the herd to find their own path. If you are feeling lonely right now, reframe it. You are not lonely. You are untethered. You are free. And freedom is terrifying to those who have lived in cages their whole lives. Use this solitude. This is not punishment. It is preparation. In this silence, you will hear your own voice for the first time in years. You will figure out what you actually want, not what your parents wanted, not what society expects. This is where the architect is born. You stop being a brick in someone else's wall, and you start building your own castle.
Conclusion: the architect of reality. We have reached the end of the diagnosis. The choice now is binary. There is no middle ground. Option A, you go back to sleep. You apologize, you explain, you beg for scraps of attention, you let them interrupt you. You stay the nice person, and you will die with a heart full of resentment, wondering why no one ever saw you. You will remain a background character in your own tragedy. Option B, you wake up, you embrace the darkness, you integrate the shadow, you learn to say no without a smile, you learn to sit in the void of silence. You become like the ocean, beautiful on the surface, but dangerous underneath. You respect yourself first, and you force the world to adjust to your standard. The world does not give you what you want, it gives you what you are, so be something undeniable. This path is not for everyone. Most people have already clicked off this video to watch a cat jump into a box. They are happy being prey. But you are still here. That means there is something in you that is tired of the cage. This video is only the blueprint. But a blueprint cannot build the house. Only the architect can. If you are ready to stop being an initiate and start becoming an architect, if you want the uncensored, raw analysis of human nature that I cannot speak of on the public algorithm, then step into the inner circle. Hit the subscribe button, not for me, but as a contract with yourself. Check the link in the description for the Architect's reading list, the books that were banned, the philosophy that was feared, the knowledge that builds kings. I will see you in the abyss. Respect yourself, or no one else will.